Hey, welcome to the Power Friendship Podcast, episode 129 something. 129 something. We have today's a special day. Special dose of friendship we have for you today. Benny, introduce yourself.
I'm Benny J. Blanco, and I am the co-host of the Power Friendship Podcast. What about you, Sailor?
I am Sailor Gaines, and I have today's a really special day. Today's might be the best day ever. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna cry, but you won't see it. It's okay. Okay, we have a special guest today. Introduce yourself.
Hey guys, Stephanie Nadolny here. OG voices of Goku from Dragonball. From Dragonball. And the Queen, for the gold. And Baby Trunks. And okay, KO, Let's Be Heroes on Cartoon Network. The first 8 episodes.
That's so cool.
So happy right now.
I had to throw in spoilers for you, make it fun.
Thank you so much.
Childhood, isn't it?
So
Childhood,
awesome.
right?
Thank you so much. I am so happy. Yep, I love it. Thank you. I appreciate you. You're the best. I'm speechless. I'm trying to talk. All right. Pull together, Tim. Pull together. All right. Pull together. All right. Power Friendship. Thank you. Hit the like and share button. Subscribe. Press the like button. Drink your water. Tell your mom and dad we love you. We're here to ask the GOAT some questions. Okay. All right. The greatest of all time. All right. So. All right. First off, how are you today? First question. How are you today?
I'm great. Like I said earlier when we were navigating through the troubleshooting, I have been traveling every weekend for as long as I can remember. And this is a random weekend that I chose to stay home for some dear friends of mine's 50th birthday party. We're going to be dressing up in 50s attire. And I'm like all about costumes because I used to travel with a show band. We did costumes and musical theater and all that stuff. And I did a signing in town in Dallas-Fort Worth yesterday. So I made it all work. And the fact that you reached out when you did couldn't have been a better timing. So I'm actually at my house, did not have to be up at any particular time for the first time in ages. So I stayed up late, like my old musician life, I used to sing in a band and stuff. So I stayed up late and I slept in and I am in heaven right now, having coffee at home with my dog. Well, my dog's not. My dog is at the door going, when are we going to take our walk? Excuse me, what are you doing? So I'm a really good zone. I'm really chill and relaxed and just happy to be home, getting some stuff done around here. Life happens when you're making other plans and it's gonna, we're here for a vapor. Boom, 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 boom. You get older and man, time just flies. So
we're big music guys here. What is your favorite band? What's your favorite band?
Oh my gosh, I have so many. I grew up as a very, very, very young child in the 70s. And of course I went through all the 80s, which has some of the best music ever. So my favorite era is the 70s where I grew up on disco music. My favorite singer of all time. I mean, once I heard her voice, I was literally 3 years old and I heard Donna Summer sing and I'm like, I am so going to be a singer. And thankfully we always had a nice stereo. My mom and dad were both big music people in the sense that they always had music around and I just latched onto it immediately. And I would actually memorize her albums, even her live albums, and give concerts at school and elementary school, on the merry-go-round. That sounds crazy, but I was just obsessed with performing and singing, and it just came naturally for me. And I just, anything and everything music. We had a piano in the house. I started playing by ear. Then I ended up taking lessons, and I can't really pick one band, but I can definitely pick one singer, and it's Donna Summer. And then my favorite male singer is Neil Diamond. I grew up with him, and I like Queen. I love Freddie Mercury's voice. I love Ann Wilson with Heart. ABBA was another favorite of mine. This is all kind of oldies for you youngsters, but that's what I literally cut my teeth on was that. And then those are the albums that we had. We had record albums. And then, of course, it moved into cassette tapes. And I was obsessed with cassette tapes and was collecting those and had a microphone, not a microphone, recorder, what do you call it? Cassette player. Once I got my hand on on those, my hand on one of those, I was recording and mimicking everything, like voices, my babysitter. I was just obsessed with that. And I think that was kind of different. Like most little 8-year-old girls don't do that. So I was a little bit weird, but it all contributed to where I am now. I mean, I learned how to morph my voice, how to mimic, how to, the singing and the rhythm and that came in handy when I do the anime dubbing, because it's a matter of like matching the flaps. Like when we would do the English dub of Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball, this was back in the day. I say back in the day, I mean like 99 through like 2008. We were they were being released on VHS tape. And
yes,
we would
I have some.
Yeah, me too. So everything you see is Japan, and then everything you hear was what we dubbed, including the music and stuff like that. So the music actually goes hand in hand with the voiceover. It's kind of like, it's not really a surprise that I ended up in voice acting. I didn't pursue it as a child. Like I didn't like, oh, I'm going to be a voice actor, but I was definitely into voices. I loved cartoons as a kid. I grew up on Looney Tunes and the Smurfs and, all that stuff that I didn't realize, but I was like mimicking and developing and morphing my craft at a very, very young age. And it's kind of like a life resume. It's not that I, took a class or I did a workshop. It's like it was like a life journey for me, with it becoming kind of like a voiceover musician resume, because I just did so much. I did, drill team and pom pom and what I do, community theater, musical theater. I just really just became enmeshed in all of it because it was just such a big part of my livelihood. And to this day, now I'm self-employed freelance. I just kind of roam around, and whenever my band can play, it's called the High Rollers, or not the High Rollers. We used to play at the WinStar World Casino, and now we've got the band called Moonglass Band on Facebook. So right now we're kind of on hiatus because I'm doing a lot of appearances and meet and greets and traveling on the weekends, which is usually when the gigs get booked, for weddings and parties and things. So when we get a random gig, it might be a restaurant or a fundraiser or something like that. So I stay really busy with both. And I really want to get back in the studio and record. I've got an album that I need to put up on Spotify that I did in 97, long time ago. I just have to learn the logistics. But yeah, my favorite stuff is R&B, soul, jazz, a little bit of jazz, Motown, oldies, a little bit of country. I mean, I'm in the South. I'm in Texas, so, country music's big. And I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, so,
Oh,
not too
it's just music in your blood.
It is. It's in my veins.
Yeah.
So
But, I'm curious on your journey, because yes, a lot of people will know you from anime and stuff like that, but it's really, really heartwarming to hear that no matter what, your passion has always been music, and you have stuck with that throughout your career. And there's one thing I'm just curious about for your voice acting. How did it happen? Was it Funimation that came to you, or you just did a random casting call for an audition? As I've learned, as I've gone on and done, appearances with other voice actors that were auditioning around the same time, we all have kind of like a different origin story. For me, it was 100% the music contacts. I'll try to summarize this because I don't want to ramble and get everybody confused, but basically, so I was traveling with a show band called Vince Vance and the Valiant. And I joined a band at 18, went to college, and it's kind of a cool story. Like I said, it's kind of long, but so I was singing with this band that was just starting in college, and this, other musician lived across the street, and we had our windows open, and he heard my voice. So he had me audition for his band. His manager immediately scooped me up and offered me the job with Vince Vance and the Valiants, which is a 50s to the 90s show band. They've been around 52 years. Started in New Orleans, but they were based in Dallas. And I went right on the road with them. 3 girl singers, full show band, costumes, comedy. So I started traveling with them, and in doing so, I met a lot of the local DFW musicians. I was, supporting other live music venues and other bands, and I would sit in with some of them, and we kind of became like a community here in Dallas-Fort Worth. So in doing so, I met the founder and producer and lead guy for a band called Brave Combo. They're a Grammy Award winning polka band. Coincidentally, Nadolny is Polish. I am Polish. My dad's side's Polish. So they asked me to sit in because we were like opening for each other. Like we would do like a festival and it'd be like Vince Vance and the Valiants and Brave Combo. And then we'd like sit in with each other and stuff. And I got to know them. And that guy, Carl Finch, asked me to come in and record some vocals for on his albums, like backup singer kind of stuff. And then he started writing music for me. And then we did this album, which I said earlier, we still haven't gotten it online, but we will. And then at that session, when I was working with them, one of their biggest fans, who was kind of a local guy, Barry Watson, was actually the director for Dragon Ball Z. I didn't know any of this at the time, but he was there at one of the sessions. He heard my voice. I had done some work with Chuck E. Cheese. I was Helen the Hen for one season, and I did some voices for a toy company called Jemmy, where basically you just do all these different voices and all for the toys, and they like put the sound file in the toys that, you know, push the button and they like move around and sing like, you know, Christmas and Halloween toys for kids and, you know, stuff you see at like Target and Walmart, you know. Anyway, Barry Watson was there. He liked my voice. He thought it sounded animated. He already had in his mind that he was going to be recasting the show and bringing everything down to Texas. I found all this out later. The girl who played Gohan in Vancouver prior to Funimation recording it in Texas was also a singer and had a similar voice. So he already had this in his mind. So I was actually called in for kind of like a callback. Like I kind of like didn't have to do the cattle call. I think some people did do an open audition type thing. So he gave me his card and I gave him mine. Sometimes that turns out to be nothing. I've been in this business a long time, so I always keep my expectations low, so I'm never disappointed. But he did call me about 6 months later and said, hey, we'd like for you to audition for this cartoon. I had no idea what it was. Anime was not even in my vocabulary. This was in 1998. Showed up to the auditioned for all the female roles. While I was there, it was kind of like American Idol, because it was like in a room with a podium and I was standing in front of like 3 judges. It was very weird. But at the very end of the session, they asked me to do a young boy voice. And because I had done so many different impersonations, you know, of kids I went to school with, my stepbrothers, my brother, I just gave them what I thought sounded like a cool little boy voice. And they said, hey, make it a little more raspy. And then so I did, and they loved it. Apparently that's what they had me in mind for. So a week later, I got a phone call saying, hey, you're the voice of Gohan. And I was all excited to embrace something new, but I had no idea what that was. So when I started out, it was at the Ginyu Saga. Gohan was like, you know, 7 or 8 years old. We kind of picked up where they left off in Canada. And like I said, I found all this out much later. I just thought I was doing a voice for a cartoon. I had no idea it was going to be on Cartoon Network. I had no idea that it was this huge anime that had already been, you know, released in Japan and was already a huge success. I didn't know any of that. It was all, we were paid by the hour. You know, there was no residuals, no royalties. The company Funimation saved a lot of money by recasting everybody in Texas, and it's a right to work state. So business wise, that was a very good decision for them to do that. But then actually right when I got cast as Gohan, my mom was diagnosed with leukemia. And she ended up passing away like right after they started showing the show on TV. So we were able to like enjoy that together while she was going through chemo. We actually got to see a Dragon Ball Z episode on Cartoon Network, which there's something different about seeing it when it's airing as opposed to like popping into VHS tape, because it's like this is like being aired all over the, you know, I don't want to say the world, but you know, people are watching right now. So that was a tough year for me. But I also had real life experience, like turmoil. My mom was my world, like my biggest fan, my fortress, my oasis, my unconditional love. So when it came time to do Gohan in the Cell Saga, I really had real life experience to bring. I know, because Goku was like, you know, being killed, and he was like, you know, you can do this. You got everything you need inside you. So like that was just such a cathartic moment for me during the Cell Saga, having been through that. And now my father just passed away a few weeks ago. And so I'm just going through this orphan stage. I'm just like, I don't like this. This is not fun. And he was out of state and I hadn't seen him in over a decade. And so I'm just like, it's like, I'm grieving, but I'm like, I know that they're with me. And our loved
This
ones
is
want us to
beautiful.
move on and find happiness. So that's kind of the story, and I really did try to summarize it. I know it's long, but that's how
Oh
I
no, it's perfect. It's fine.
like getting discovered in a way, I guess. And singing with Brave Combo and just singing with bands. I was just always using my voice. So I'm rocking out singing all the time, touring 250 plus days a year. So when it came time to do the really tough stuff and the screaming and the yelling and the fighting with the Cell Saga, thankfully I had the chops to do it because I was already using my voice so much. So yes, it would hurt. Yes, it would. I would get rescued.
The Gohan is different.
Yeah. So
Well, I'm not gonna lie, 70, and I know that. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, we're good.
Oh, you go.
Good.
Oh, I didn't want to cut you off. I'm so sorry. I was just going to get all emotional. Now, because, like, your voice completely... Because T. Gohan is my favorite character in Dragon Ball ever. And, like, never in a million years would I ever thought I would, like, ever have a conversation to, like, somebody... To the person that actually did it. And now knowing that, like, you use real emotions for that, like, specific, like, part of the story...
Yeah.
Like, that hits a lot more, and like my condolences. I know it happened years and years ago, but still.
Yeah, no, I did change my life forever. I mean, I was in my 20s. She was only 51 years old, and now I'm at her age. It's just so weird. And she was about to be a grandmother. My brother had his first daughter like right after. So it was a tough. I look back at it now, and it was such a tough year. Like it was a brand new career for me with anime and voice acting and stuff like that. But it was also like, I look back and like that year, 1999 was just so like a lot was going on. And I think I was just more resilient than I thought. Cause I was young, I was traveling, I was kind of like independent. And so, I made it through, and, it's the power of the human spirit is gigantic, and, I actually went through a lot going on from around 2015 to 2021, where I lost a lot of stuff. I wasn't able to become a mother. I had 2 shots at it and couldn't be a mom, and I always wanted to be a mom. And then I'm like, what's my legacy going to be? And so I was lost. And for a long time, I ended up like getting really sick and having really bad insomnia. And, I lost my marriage. I lost all my jobs, and I was just really floundering around, trying to deal kind of on my own without my mom. And it was just really a rough time. But I hear these stories. It's kind of like rising from the Phoenix. And that's when I started coming back out to do Comic-Cons. Cause I was like, people are like, why aren't you doing Comic-Cons? Why aren't you doing meet and greets? I'm like, well, my stuff, I did this stuff years ago. I don't want to say this because it sounds really negative, but I'm like, well, I'm kind of old news. Like I did this a long time ago. Like I'm not doing anything brand new. So why would anybody want me to come to their Comic-Con? But then I realized once I got back into Comic-Cons in like 2017, that it's nostalgia. Mm-hmm. It's all retro. It's like everything is part of this pop culture, and the fans are there. Like you guys, they're older, and they have maybe some, money to spend on collectibles. And of course you got the Funko Pops, and people want autographs, and, people kind of came out of, remember COVID hit, and we all kind of came out of that. And then the Comic-Cons came full force about a year after. So I'm basically making hay while the sun's shining. I mean, this is kind of like residuals and royalties that we never got. We can do these meet and greets. This is a way that I found to generate commerce and have an income. And, I'm auditioning like crazy right now. I'm going to get a new agent. Like I'm not done. Like I didn't retire, none of that. So I'm finally kind of feeling like I'm coming out of the dark, and I'm thriving. And I'm these meet and greets are like kind of like my anime babies. They come up to me and they talk to me about how the show changed their life, or it was like a good escape for them, or they might have been in a domestic violence type thing, or they were going through a lot. And so they would like hole up in their room and come home from school and watch Dragon Ball Z. And it's so cathartic and so heartwarming to hear these stories of all of these people from, actually some of them are all over the world. Like, cause we, they broadcast in Australia and New Zealand, which is the same language. So I was able to go out to New Zealand and Australia. And this summer I'll be going back. So yeah, I'm just really grateful that the show itself was already so popular, and that it was just so mass produced and shown. So, cause that gave the show and all the voice actors exposure, which then therefore led to our career and Wikipedia, IMDb pages and things like that. So I'm just humbled by it, really. But the meet and greets and seeing the fans face to face is my absolute favorite part of what I do. And stuff like this, interviews and, trying to empower the youth to follow their dreams and, believe in themselves and the power of the human spirit and stuff like that. And I'm also a big supportive anti-bullying. I moved around every 2 or 3 years and was always a new girl, and I was having trouble fitting in. And just when I did, we'd move again. And so, there's all this disarray and I don't know, we all have our own struggles, right? We all have you turn on the news and it's like, oh, wow, now I feel like a butthole for complaining about my life. It's like everybody has something worse than we do, So it's just a matter of just really immersing myself in the, just embracing all of this love from all over the world, from all of these fans that just absolutely loved the work and the body of work. And I just appreciate that so much.
I have a question. Like, would you ever write your life story? Because from what I'm hearing, this is very interesting and very like just emotional. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just
I've been
your story.
Sorry, I think now I interrupted. I've been asked to actually, for whatever reason, just randomly over the past few years, people will just hear little snippets of my struggles or whatever, my story, and they're like, "You should write a book." And I have the chops to do it because I did I wrote in a journal for many years, and I was involved in a lot of creative writing in school, and so I can see it within the realm of a possibility. It would probably take a really long time to really figure all of that out and really just start brainstorming, because there's just been so much that I don't want to leave anything out. And then, some of it's really personal, and some people judge you for this and that. Not that that should matter, but it's part of a story. And that's the whole concept, is sharing your experience, strength, and hope with people through your story. So we all have a story, and we all come from different backgrounds with different beliefs and, values and morals, and everybody's, comes from, so everybody has a story. So it's funny you said that, because I'm getting a lot of feedback from people saying, you should write a book. You should really because I had a lot of other struggles too, with different types of addiction and trying to cope with all of this loss and not really knowing how to without a family, and, just really trying to find some kind of inner strength to pull me through it. And I really truly feel like I'm a miracle. I'm still alive right now, because there's a bunch of stuff, we don't have to go into now, but really almost lost my life a few times. And so it's it took years and years to get through it. But I mean, I finally am kind of feeling like I'm out of the darkness. I'm thriving. I'm embracing all of the love from the fans and trying to do my best to give back to them. And
hell yeah, that's awesome.
And just audition like crazy. And I've done a few little small projects lately, nothing significant. But that's hopefully going to change really soon. But yeah, so that's kind of how it all happened for me. And it's just great to do these interviews and hopefully empower people to follow their dreams and, persevere and just find that the strength inside there. It sounds cliche, but inside there's power in there. There's power in life and in your heart. And I just want to give back, because I've been given so much with all of this adoration from all these fans, and it's been really, really super crazy awesome.
Could make me cry.
No, I know. And being a creative type, I'm a creative type, so I'm this need to express, and this stuff, this is very emotional for me as well. And but you have to, I've had to thicken my skin, because I got picked on a lot for being a singer and knowing what I wanted to do. And, my peers were just, I don't know, sometimes you have this aura that comes off as a threat, and it wasn't. But, kids are kids, they're immature. We're I was a kid too, we were just trying to figure out who we were, So, but yeah, I use all of that to, propel me now, and just be like, wow, look at what I did. I really did do it. I survived somehow. How did that happen? So
And you're staying busy too. That's awesome too.
Yeah, staying busy and productive is huge too. When you're trying to kind of like go through grief and just the daily struggles of life, and none of us escape suffering. Human suffering is just it's but we learn through it. It's like you don't want to invite it, but at the same time, when you go through your hardest times, that's when you're really learning kind of your biggest lessons. Which is why I think we're here. We're here for that purpose.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm kind of getting all like, I'm getting like, still on you. I'm getting all like, like.
Hey, I love it.
This is the reason that we love doing podcasts, like getting to know, like, like in a sense, like celebrities in different walks of life. Like everybody's human at the end of the day. Like
we're all human. We are to look everybody straight in the eye. Nobody should cower. Nobody should feel like their ego or their arrogance makes them better. I am definitely, definitely, that's my word. Definitely not a, I'm not a, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I think it's just from being humbled and being a new girl for so long and constantly being ripped from school to school and city to city and state to state, that I kind of feel like you can kind of plop me anywhere and I'll just kind of like deal. And it's like kind of like an innate resilience that kind of developed on its own without my realization. So it's like, I don't view myself as a celebrity. I don't view myself as an anime goat or whatever y'all call it, you youngsters. But like when I'm at the gigs and stuff, I'm just so down to earth. I grew up in a lot of small towns, and I'm accessible and I'm approachable, whereas some aren't. And I'm not judging them for that, because some people have to put up that wall, and some people really are so crazy, insane, famous that they can't go anywhere without being recognized and stuff like that. So I appreciate that side of it, but like, I just don't, I mean, like I hang out with my fans. Like I've got some, like recently I was in New England, and I've got a sweet little crazy, insane girl that I love to death. She helped me put together the New England comic tour. Her name is Sophia Cormier. And I got to know her through a Comic-Con. And then there's another one, Stephanie, down in, she's got SSJ Goshen 4 on YouTube. She's
I know her.
The largest Dragonball merchandise that's a female. So she's like crazy. Like she's been collecting since she's 11 and she's in her 30s now. She's in Fort Lauderdale. Yeah. And then I've got like Brandy Dixon up in Portland, Oregon. Like I've made like friendships with these people who I don't want to say, I guess they're kind of like super fans, because they like really like get into it. They cosplay, they make up their own characters. They do like, they're really, really super into it. So like, but I've gotten to be friends with them. And in doing so, we've been able to do business. I've been able to coordinate tours. I've been able to go and, venture out in some states I've never been to. And then therefore they become like an agent for me, and then they get their commission, and then everybody's happy. And everybody's like patting each other on the back. And then it's like a win-win-win for myself, for the liaison, as well as for the comic shops or the Comic-Con people. Like everybody wins when, and that's what I always look to do, is like when I do a business venture, I always want to make sure everybody benefits, whether it be the Comic-Con for the attendance. We make really high quality videos. My manager, Dan Bradford, my bass player, my best friend, he's everything to me. He helps me with my website, StephanieNadolny.com. And then I've got Larry Mitchell down in South Dallas, who helps me with my Stephanie Nadolny voice actors page. And so like I've managed to kind of like create a network, and they're kind of like family. Since I don't really have a family, they become like my family. And like I said, y'all are my anime babies. Y'all are I have people hand me babies all the time, and I, give them lots of love, and I got to nurture, because I wanted to be a mom. So this is how I'm vicariously being a mom, like nurturing my fans and their families. And I write to I have a Instagram and all that too. And I write, and TikTok. I don't know if you guys have seen some. Oh my gosh, my TikToks are so silly. I have a social media manager, Aaron Hanania in Illinois, and he has been helping me grow my exposure on social media. And now he's starting an agency, so I'm helping him work with his agent as his agency to start booking talent. So I don't know. I'm figuring it out. I'm surviving, and just grateful. Surviving and thriving, styling and profiling, all that.
Right. You're diversified. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, I was a sales rep for a while. I went through a hard time where I was having to wait tables whenever my show band wasn't performing. And I mean, I don't know, work ethic was already always instilled in me. My mom and dad both were very, very hard workers. Always looking to provide for us, you know? So I guess I just learned that from being around it growing up. And so I don't know, it's like, I'm going to find a way, you know, even during COVID, I found a way. I couldn't perform and I couldn't appear at events, but I found a way to, you know, record narrations or for YouTube videos. And I'd get online and look at backstage jobs and find a way to utilize my voice, you know, radio commercials, you know? Yeah. So I don't know. It's a good quality, and I'm embracing it big time.
Listen, okay, hear me out. Look, all right, I listen to you while I'm on cardio 24/7. Your voice is just amazing. It's so inspiring. It's so inspiring. Your Gohan, like when I'm on the treadmill, I watch the Gohan scenes all the time and Kid Goku scenes just to motivate me to keep going. It's pretty good, man. It's just I think you should like do gyms. You should go to gyms. Like you're like, why are you not doing meet and greets at gyms? That would be really great for like, I don't know. Dragon Ball is very inspiring for like fitness and working out.
I need to get my butt into the gym myself. I am in my worst shape and in my heaviest. I'm not obese or fat or anything, but I'm at my heaviest weight and I'm not in shape, and it's making me crazy. Like I want to get back in shape and tone because I'm not dancing and singing in a band anymore. So unless I'm walking my dog, I'm not getting much exercise. But the martial arts part of it is kind of interesting too. Like, because I did the Taste of Chicago back in like 2001, and we did like a martial arts thing where I was there signing autographs, and they were doing a martial arts like vendor booth. And so I can see what you mean, like morphing it into like the workout and stuff. Cause I do hear about fans like listening to parts of the show or kind of like getting pumped up and powering up, like getting them pumped up and inspired to work out and to keep doing it. Exercise is hard, especially to get in the habit of exercise is like so difficult. So thank you for saying I need to get into the gym, because I know I'm not taking offense. No, I really physically need to go to the gym and start working out again.
I mean, you need to be like, I think, because I see people with Goku on the shirts and all the time. I'm just saying, like, you could just sign people. It would be crazy. Maybe I will talk to my gym because I want you there. That would be godlike. Because all my gym, that'd be cool. We'll
do a Delaware.
We do a lot of.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you kind of come to Delaware and then you at the training center.
We'll promote. We'll do a Comic-Con, or not a Comic-Con, but we'll do a comic shop.
Yeah.
Like a whole Delaware thing.
Yeah, because I will send you a contact of a person that would be great to do it. And then like, because like your voice is, man, I can't, I don't listen. Just say it. It's pretty godlike.
Yeah,
it's pretty godlike.
Your voice inspired a lot of kids, because I used to go to boys and girls clubs when I was a kid. So like we used to watch Dragon Ball before the bus picks us up for school, and afterwards too after school. So like your voice was always there with a bunch of kids just pretending, hey, I'm Goku, I'm Gohan, I'm Frieza, I'm Cell. It's amazing. Yeah. Like the fact that like your voice has been heard probably to millions of children is just I couldn't understand. Like that's amazing. Like it is amazing.
I didn't even know it was happening. I didn't know. I mean, I knew there was some. I knew there was relevance. Burger King put out their. They did a promotion in like, I want to say 2000. I could be wrong, but they gave away Dragon Ball Z action figures at Burger King. They did yeah, that's when I was like, wow, this is a big deal. And then when I knew it was on Cartoon Network, it took a while, but over the years, I was like, wow, this is a really big show. Like, this is a big deal. This is a franchise. It's still going to this day. You know, then they put out the movies and the video games. And then I remember going over with my show band over to Europe. And I guess I'd been voicing about a year and a half. And I was in Italy, and I turned on the TV in my hotel room, and they were playing Dragon Ball Z. And there's Gohan speaking in Italian. I was like, what? And then I saw Dragon Ball Z, Monica and merchandise in the souvenir shops in Italy, I was like, okay, this is a way bigger deal. And then when I went to my first Comic-Con that same summer of 2000, I went to San Diego Comic-Con, which I didn't even know Comic-Cons existed. That's when I was like, wow, this is a big deal. But still, I still thought it was like gonna end, like a short-lived, like it's gonna be a big deal for now. We're gonna do a bunch of signings and we're gonna do this for a few years and then it's gonna just kind of fade or fizzle. And then and now I'm learning, no, it's the nostalgia. It's
Look. Our kids, our kids will know your voice. It's gonna be great because your voice is on everything. It's so wild. Like on TikToks and stuff, you see like TikTok edits of like working out, and it's like your Gohan. Your Gohan is just, oh my god. I'm like, damn.
Oh, actually, I have a very interesting question, and this is going back for like the father-son Kamehameha. Were you in who does Goku's voice again?
Sean.
Shebo. Were you in the studio like next to each other while doing that scene, or was it like a separate recording?
Oh, it was all separate. We recorded separately, one at a time. Yeah, I know. Now the thing is, it's all timing. Like, so say like I came in and did a session. If somebody prior to me had voiced, the dialogue prior, I would be able to react to that, or vice versa. So say like I came in and then, Linda Young came in to do Frieza or whatever. If I had already done my lines, the director could put those in our headphones and we could respond to them, which I found to be great. Because as an actress,
cool.
I'm not the greatest dramatic. I tried that, but I'm really just more improv and musicals and kind of like cheesy. I'm naturally better at that. But so we could like respond to each other. And then the only other time we really see anybody, like other actors and stuff, was when we back in the day, it was a small company. A lot of us did multiple roles for different stuff. The company was tiny. And we would meet up about once a year for a few years early on for a cast party. And we would like do karaoke and have food and hang out with each other. And that's when we kind of got to know the castmates. And that kind of was how we intermingled and got to know each other. And then in between sessions, coming and going down the hallway, oh, hey, how you doing? Like I would leave and somebody else would show up and vice versa. And then a lot of the directors were voice actors themselves. So I worked with Mike McFarland, the voice of Master Roshi. He was there right before they did all of these auditions. He was there early on. He's still there now at Crunchyroll. And then Chris Kaysen, Chris Bevins. Chris Bevins recorded me in Dragonball GT. Some of those guys were also voice actors. And Sonny Strait, voice of Krillin. He did some directing. So I got to know the directors who happened to be other voice actors a little bit more than some of the others because I saw them more often. Mm-hmm. And then there's ADR directors. They had interns. I mean, they started picking up more properties, Blue Gender, Yu Yu Hakusho. Then I started doing animation themes. I'm a singer. Yeah. So I got with the Carl Finch from Brave Combo. And we put together, we were hired to take the Japanese lyrics and turn them into English, which is something I, love doing, writing poetry and lyrics and stuff and songs. And so I was able to sing Sayonara Bye Bye for Yu Yu Hakusho, which is one of my bigger ones. And then I did the opening and closing theme to Kitty Grey and Case Closed. And then I started finding other singers, male and recruiting them to come in so that not all the themes were the same singers. And I wish we were still doing that. I could do that all day long. I love being in the studio. I love recording. I love working with lyrics and music. And if you go to my website, I wrote a cute, funny song about Halloween and Christmas, and they're for kids. I'm just naturally better at the novelty stuff, the kind of like the rated G because I'm just cheesy like that, and I just grew up really conservative, and it's just my mom always wanted me to be a lady, don't use profanity. And, she was always very loving to kids and animals, and that's kind of how I got all of that going. So, so my website has a bunch of that on there, and I'd love to do more of that. I also did some parodies for morning show radio. I've got a demo on there that y'all can listen to, and there's some stuff on YouTube. For whatever reason, I wasn't credited for those animation themes. Carl Finch was, because he was a producer. I'm not complaining about it. A lot of the fans don't realize I'm a singer and that I did a lot of that stuff. And I wish they were still doing those to this day, because I would be all over that. Directing, finding singers, recruiting. I'm mentoring starlets right now for Vince Vance and the Valiants again. They're still performing. I did a show with them just 2 nights, one night. What is today? Oh, Sunday. And Friday night I worked with them again, which was great because that took me back to my youth, my nostalgia. So, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I taught voice for a while and piano through Zoom. I'm doing a little bit of mentoring and coaching. I'm not the greatest with the technology part of it and the equipment that was needed, but between me and Dan together, we can mentor and, kind of do a little bit of,
I love it.
At least startup coaching, and just advice on how to kind of get a demo done and how to get your voices out there and different things like that. We're going way over 30 minutes. I am so sorry.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. As long as you need. I just wanted to hear you talk. That's all. Hear what you talk had to say. Yeah, but I just want to thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate you and everything.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Stay in touch. Yeah. I'll send you some more people that might want to jump on with you guys. I've got some in my immediate sphere. Chuck Huber, Linda Young, Cynthia Krantz, Tiffany Vollmer, Brian Massey. I know a bunch of people that would possibly be able to do an interview that might be interested. Everybody's independent and freelance, so I don't know what their availability would be. I know a lot of us work on the weekends, but if I can send you their info, and of course I can post a link and try to get you guys some more guests.
Thank you. Before you leave, we usually ask. We switched it on our guests. What question do you have for us?
Well,
if you have any.
Yeah, what do you guys do for a living? What's your job? What's your passion?
So my passion, I'm an author, I'm a writer. So I have published 3 books and I'm working on another one. But that right now is my dream, my passion. Of course, I have to pay bills with a steady job. So I'm a safety advisor at a company called Restoration Hardware, very expensive furniture. And it gives me the opportunity to travel around the country to open up new stores and stuff like that.
Oh,
so, I mean, that's been
a commercial for that.
Yeah,
yeah.
So it's been a really fun job, but I love writing. I love creating. That's been my passion for the last 4 or 5 years. What about you, Sailor?
I am a bodybuilder / podcast person, and I make content. I love to make content. I love bodybuilding. I'm going to compete one day in bodybuilding. That's what I love to do.
Wow, I need to come up there and
I love hitting the gym.
Be my trainer.
I got you.
I need a trainer.
This is crazy. This is I got you. I got you.
Harder to stay in shape the older you get, and it's like I love sugar. Damn it.
I know.
Yeah.
My friends got me into it. So I think when you do it with your friends, it's easier. It's so easier to do it with your friends.
Oh, you got to have your buddies. Yeah, always better.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I also, my day job is Brinks. I work at Brinks. I'm a messenger to carrier, so I carry the money.
Oh my gosh! How scary! People get
everybody said.
No, I mean
I usually go.
You got stuff to
Oh, you go. I'm sorry.
Protect you, because people. I see those trucks drive up. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness! Ooh, that's so scary.
We got good, but you learn a lot about people's body language, interacting with people, how you move, safety. Also, your driving makes your driving better. It helps you a lot, and you appear you get to see more, and you think about what you're doing more. I don't know.
Yeah,
I like it. It's fun.
I figured you had all of that in place. I mean, that's good. You got to be able to protect yourself, but that's a good one too. Though you're a big guy, you're gonna hey, don't mess with me.
Intimidating. Yeah.
You can
I try.
Go Super Saiyan on him if you have to. Power up and go.
Sometimes it be like that.
He's built like Broly too.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'd be like. How to be like that? We asked you. Okay, the end of the show. Now we have to ask you, what are you listening to and what are you reading? And then you would wrap.
Oh, that's a cool question. What am I listening to? Okay, well, I'm getting onto the Spotify thing. I have not set up my playlist yet, but lately, well, I listen to Donna Summer. Anytime I really need motivation, I go straight back to my roots and I go to Donna Summer and ABBA and 70s and disco. And I mean, I'll be jamming down, you know, because I drive a lot. I commute all over the place. Dallas Fort Worth is huge. And so I jam out to that when I can. I'm in the process of trying to figure out how to get, I have an old car right now, so I don't have anything fancy. It's got like a CD player in it. And so I'm finding a way to like get my music into my car because like I said, I drive a lot. So it's that. And then I love Earth, Wind and Fire. Oh, they're amazing. They're, and then, you know, just, I'm listening to this really cool eclectic station called 91.7 in the Dallas Fort Worth area. And they play a lot of local artists and a lot of stuff that you don't get to hear because they don't have the marketing or the money behind them to get them on like mainstream radio. So now more than ever, artists in general are able to, there's so many platforms to showcase. And there wasn't any of that when I was a kid. You know, we didn't even, I mean, it was just the radio. That's all you really, you know, there wasn't any internet. There wasn't cell phones. I mean, there was no way to like, to share your abilities and your, you know, no way to really get your stuff out there as far as like if you're writing stuff, unless you went in the studio and physically did it. And that's a lot of money to hire all the musicians. So anyway, I'm finding a lot of eclectic artists that are not, some of them are local and like they're getting, I'm going to try to get my stuff on that station actually, because with Brave Combo and the whole thing with that award-winning polka band, they have a lot of really good, you know, they put out a whole bunch of CDs. And so I'm trying to see if I can get some of my stuff on that station. So I've been listening to that. And those are kind of like, I say they're unknowns because they just haven't like hit the mainstream and they don't necessarily have to. But I'm listening to that and then reading. Oh my gosh, I go from like the horoscopes and the Dallas Morning News to self-help books. I'm reading a really cool book called The Language of Letting Go by Melody Beattie. Oh God, I hope I got that right. It's I have like 3 or 4 devotionals that I read. One's for codependency, one's for just empowerment, and I have a Jesus Calling by my bed, which is inspiring whether you are spiritual or religious or not. If you know, whatever you believe, whether it's the universe or the cosmos or that, you know, the karma, you know, whatever. I mean, everybody has a different view of what they feel like is spiritually like what works for them. So I have a ton, and then I have a whole library of books that I haven't opened yet, but a lot of them are very, I have one called Motherless Daughters I want to read because, you know, what happened with my mother. And, gosh, I just have a whole library of stuff that there's one on, what happens, you know, like, on the other side, like when you transition after you know, when you pass away. And with me having so much death and loss and a lot of relatives passing so soon in life, I, you know, like to believe that there's more out there once we pass on and move on to the next place in the realm of whatever. So it's just, I don't know. And I watch a lot of the near-death experiences and they're pretty profound.
Yeah.
And it makes you kind of like
That's awesome.
get rid, you know, trying to like get rid of the fear, like faith always be over your fear. So you don't like fear death or fear things anymore, you know, anxiety and stuff like that.
That's the one thing that's always promised in life.
It's all in your head. It's like, you know, you got to eradicate that crap.
Just enjoy the now. Don't worry about what will be.
Exactly. The past, you're kind of living in depression. The future, you're living in anxiety. But if you're living in the moment, you are in the present, which is a gift. And this moment is all we have right now. Like, boom, it's gone. Boom, it's gone. Like, not saying that negative. It's like you got to embrace what's going on right now in front of you.
Keep moving forward.
Self-awareness. It's a self-awareness thing. Like, what's that word? Starts with an M. Mindfulness. Yes. Again, I went on and on and on. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. Like this is, I was like, I just want to talk to one of the greatest persons in the world.
Do it again. I wouldn't say that. I've made some big mistakes in my life. Trust me. I'm not.
We all have.
We all
have. But you're a really dope human, and I'm really glad to thank you for. This has been my best day ever. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm trying not to cry. We're talking.
I got 2 more.
I want to thank you for coming on.
Awesome. Let's do it again if you want.
Ooh.
Maybe later this year.
Yes.
After the summer and the fall, maybe we can do it again, and we can talk about other stuff.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And I want you to come to my gym. I want you at my gym. I got you DJ at my gym. We will love you there. Get you a table set up. Everything.
Yeah. Well, the banner, all the setup, the posters. I bring all that stuff with me, and yeah, we can do like some stuff over a microphone and some MC and like pump some people up and maybe use the go on. Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, that would be right. That would be awesome.
Awesome. Thank you for coming. Where can they find you? Where can they find you?
Website, StephanieNadolny.com. I have Instagram, Stephanie Nadolny. I have TikTok, Steph Nadolny. What else? Stephanie Nadolny, voice actress on Facebook. I have Moonglass Band on Facebook. I'll be adding some of my newer dates to my website soon. I do have a form submission on that website. If anybody wants to write to me, it'll come straight to my email. You can email, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. Just look for me at a Comic-Con or comic store near you, and we can do the Camille wave together.
Yeah. Benny, where can they find you? Where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Benny J Blanco and on the X Twitter at the Benny J Blanco. But I also want to say thank you so much, Stephanie. I really, really do appreciate you taking the time to talk to us, and thank you. But where can they find you, Sailor?
You can find me at Sailor Games 18, the mall, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, your mom's house. You can find me everywhere. I'm here to help everybody, okay? I love everyone.
That's funny.
I'm everywhere.
Everywhere.
I'm here to help. Stephanie, give us some encouragement for the day. Give us some encouragement today.
Okay. My big thing right now, again, it may sound cliche, but I've been seeing it a lot on signs and little droplets of mine is like live, laugh, love, laughter. I don't know. I all start with an L. I don't know why, but, man, Tom Hanks said this. It's like, whatever you're going through will pass. I know it, like I said, it sounds cliche, but you gotta stay focused in the now, be present in the moment, embrace it, because we are literally here for a vapor. As you get older, the years will fly by. Time flies when you're in a coma. So embrace the moment. And I know I've got the silly dad jokes. We could do a whole episode on silly dad jokes. Yes, I love them.
With the Goha joke, with the Goha voice.
I love it.
Don't take yourself too seriously. Just relax and kind of laugh at yourself, not in a bad way, but just, I think embracing that laughter and having humor in your life is really important. No matter what kind of walk of life you have, I think that when you can really let go and belly laugh at something, gosh, there's so much stuff to see on YouTube. And I mean, anything from puppies and babies to, whatever, voice actors, whatever it is, but, have laughter. And then just, I'm just like I said, a big supporter of encouraging everybody. One of my big things now, and it's kind of deep, but when there's all this diversity in life and there's all these, suffering in all these different countries and whatever, basically, I just feel like everybody should just embrace and be non-judgmental to your brothers and sisters here, because we're all just walking each other home. And I know that sounds kind of oh my God, I'm going to cry. But it is we're really all connected and we're all part of the universe. So just give the best of yourself, shine your light, be the best person you can be, work on yourself each and every day. What can you do better? Start your day with a daily inventory in the morning and get your day started with empowerment and end your day with what could I have done better? That's kind of my 2 cents or 3 cents or 4 cents. What is...
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You let me know how I can follow you and support you and send you more people.
Oh yes, we will send you all the things, our emails. We will add you on Twitter, Facebook, all that, whatever.
Twitter. Beth Vox is my Twitter. I haven't been on there, but Yeah.
Okay, we'll send you our Instagrams and Facebooks and stuff like that. Whatever you want to get yourself, we'll send you our links. Okay. Thank you. We love you. I'm going to. Listen,
But I
love you.
I have a question before we go. One more question before we go.
Okay.
Why do women have butts on their chins?
Oh my god.
Oh my god. That was amazing. That was amazing. Thank you. Have a blessed day. We love you.
Love you guys too. Sorry if I interrupted a little bit there. Have a great rest of your day. This was awesome.
Yeah,
you're the awesome one.
Be on a Sunday afternoon, then here with the Power of Friendship podcast. Yeah.